What if I told you that your entire approach to money has been upside down since the beginning? What if every sleepless night spent worrying about bills, every anxious glance at your balance, every moment of frustration about lack wasn't random, but a reflection of a misunderstood spiritual law? Most people chase money like a frantic hunter chasing shadows in an endless forest. They follow trails that lead nowhere, exhaust their energy trying to trap something that always slips through their grasp. They chase, and chase, never realizing that the more they run, the further wealth runs from them. But over a century ago, a quiet spiritual teacher uncovered a truth so simple and so powerful that it reverses everything we've been taught about success. She realized that true prosperity doesn't come to those who chase it. It comes to those who become irresistible to it. The richest souls on earth are not those running after wealth. They are those who have become what abundance naturally seeks. They carry a vibration that money cannot ignore. They are the magnetic force that riches race toward, like iron filings drawn to a magnet. Think about it, nothing truly valuable in nature chases. The flower does not run after the bee. Its fragrance and color invite the bee to come. Gold does not hunt for miners. Men travel across oceans to find it. The moon doesn't pursue the tide. The tide is drawn to it by an unseen pull. The same law governs prosperity. When your energy matches abundance, money begins to pursue you with the same intensity you once used to pursue it. If you're hearing this message right now, it's not by accident. You were led here because something deep within you is tired of chasing. Something in you is ready to stop being the pursuer and start being the pursued. You are ready to discover why your efforts have felt so heavy and how to turn that weight into effortless flow. Before I reveal how this works, I want you to take one simple step to show the universe you're serious. First, click the like button, because that small act is a signal to both the algorithm and the unseen realm that you are open to receive. Second, comment these 3 words below: as money hunts me. Nothing more, nothing less. Those 3 words are a declaration. They are an energetic contract between you and the field of abundance. And if you feel moved to give in this moment, to plant a seed in the soil of gratitude, you can do so through the Super Thanks button. Don't see it as charity or payment. See it as a symbol of faith, a message that says, I give because I already have. Every gift given in that consciousness returns multiplied in ways you can't predict. You may also choose to join our community of seekers who walk this path together. People discovering that prosperity isn't something you chase, but something that seeks you when you align with its frequency. Now, picture this: tomorrow morning, you open your eyes, and instead of feeling dread when you think of money, you feel calm assurance. Not hope, not wish, but know that wealth is on its way to you. You can feel it searching for you, trying to reach you. You're no longer chasing. You're being chased. You're no longer begging. You're being chosen. And the peace that comes with that awareness feels almost unreal at first. That feeling is the turning point. It's the moment you stop running and start allowing. But before you can become what money seeks, you have to understand what's been seeking you all this time. Because right now, whether you realize it or not, something invisible has been tracking you for years. It has followed you into every decision, every transaction, every anxious thought about lack. That force is called scarcity. Scarcity is a hunter that thrives on fear. It waits at the edge of your consciousness, whispering, "You'll never have enough." It hides behind the unpaid bills, behind every moment you say, "I can't afford it." It's not physical, it's energetic. It feeds on your doubt. Each time you worry, it grows stronger. Each time you act out of fear, it digs in deeper. You wake up in the morning, and before your feet even touch the ground, you feel its presence. The weight in your chest, the dread of checking your account, the guilt of spending even when you've earned it. That's scarcity at work. You run faster, work harder, hustle longer, but somehow the finish line keeps moving. You set goals, build budgets, create side hustles, but still the feeling of lack returns. Every time you say, "I need more," you send the signal that you don't have enough. and scarcity answers that call instantly. It's the cruel trick of the chase. The harder you hunt, the further abundance runs. Every anxious thought is a noise in the forest that scares prosperity away. The ancient teacher I mentioned earlier discovered the way out. She found that the universe doesn't respond to pursuit, it responds to resonance. Wealth is not mechanical, it's magnetic. What you embody on the inside determines what you attract on the outside. When you stop running and shift your energy, the chase ends. You become the treasure. Scarcity loses your scent, and abundance starts to follow your trail instead. Let me show you what that looks like through a real story. A few months ago, I received an email from a woman named Deborah. Her message changed my entire understanding of this law. She wrote, "I spent 37 years chasing money, and it took me just 2 days to make it chase me." She had worked in sales for decades, closing deals, pursuing clients, hunting opportunities. But lately, nothing worked. The harder she pushed, the more clients disappeared. One Tuesday, after losing a major account she had been chasing for months, she sat in her office and asked the question we all ask at some point: what am I doing wrong? That evening, feeling defeated, she stumbled across one of my teachings about reversing the hunt, about becoming what abundance looks for. Something clicked. She realized she'd been acting like a predator when she was meant to be the prize. That night she tried something new. She sat quietly and imagined not chasing success, but success searching for her. She saw opportunities lining up to find her, clients calling her first, money flowing toward her naturally. Most importantly, she felt what it would be like to be the person wealth can't ignore. Confident, valuable, and at ease. She whispered to herself, "I am what money seeks." And she repeated it until it felt true. The next morning, the shift was immediate. She didn't wake up to a miracle, but she woke up different. Calm, grounded, expectant. She organized her workspace, refreshed her brand, and moved with quiet certainty. That very morning, a potential client she'd reached out to months before called her out of the blue, apologizing for the delay and offering her the biggest contract of her career. One even better than the deal she'd lost. Within the next 2 weeks, 3 more opportunities appeared, seemingly out of nowhere. She wrote to me saying, "Once I stopped chasing, everything started chasing me." The difference wasn't in her actions. It was in her identity. She finally believed she was the treasure. And when you see yourself that way, the world reflects it back. People sense your worth, even before you speak. Deborah's story isn't rare. It's just rare that people allow it to happen. The principle she used isn't about techniques or manipulation. It's about alignment. It's the understanding that what you radiate, you magnetize. When you know that you are already valuable, reality organizes itself around that knowing. You were never meant to beg for prosperity. You were meant to embody it. The moment you stop chasing is the moment money starts finding its way to your door. It's not luck, it's law. The law of resonance, the law of attraction, the law of being the prize instead of the pursuer. The same law that has worked for countless souls across generations, and it's waiting to work for you the moment you believe that you are worth being found. There was one visionary who saw what others of her time could not, a truth that science is only beginning to echo today. That creation itself responds not to struggle, but to harmony. The universe is built on vibration and correspondence, not on force or pursuit. She came to understand that money, like light or sound, carries its own intelligence. It senses, reacts, and moves according to laws few people ever recognize. Wealth is not a lifeless object waiting to be captured. It is a living current that responds to resonance. It moves eagerly towards certain states of being and withdraws from others. And like any conscious force, it detects unease from afar. It recognizes anxiety in a person's tone, the uncertainty in their heart, the grasping energy of someone who wants to own rather than receive. This is why she taught that everything draws its own likeness. In the dimension of thought, prosperity gravitates toward those whose inner climate already feels rich. But here lies the part most miss. You cannot imitate the vibration of wealth. Pretending abundance while secretly feeling lack sends conflicting signals. and money is too perceptive to be fooled. Think of it as a wise energy that has circled through humanity since civilization began. It has observed every emotion, every motive, every consciousness. Through aeons of observation, it has developed sharp discernment about whom to trust and where to flow. And what it has learned is simple: it flourishes in fields of gratitude, purpose, and confidence. It multiplies wherever it is honored as a tool of blessing, a current of creation that enriches all it touches. But it withdraws from fear, resentment, and scarcity thinking. It cannot thrive in the atmosphere of those who see it as corrupt or dangerous, or who cling to it in panic. When you chase wealth from a sense of deficiency, you broadcast the very frequency that drives it away. You are declaring to the field, "I am empty, unworthy, and unsafe." And wealth, being intelligent, moves toward calmer waters. The deeper truth she revealed is this: money does not flow toward those who plead the hardest. It moves toward those prepared to hold it. It is drawn to minds already fluent in the language of plenty, to souls who have mastered the inward posture of abundance, who have become trustworthy vessels for prosperity. And when you fully embody this awareness, something astonishing happens. You stop seeking money, and money begins to seek you. You move from begging at the door of fortune to standing as its rightful heir. Wealth no longer hides. It starts pursuing you with the urgency you once used to pursue it. Picture yourself as a buried jewel deep within the earth. For years, you've tried to dig yourself out, to prove your worth to the world. But treasures never search for treasure hunters, the hunters search for them. The moment you cease striving to prove value and begin to radiate it, seekers sense your signal. They start moving in your direction, compelled to discover you. This is exactly what happened to Deborah. And it can happen to anyone willing to shift their inner stance. But the change demands more than comprehension, it demands transformation. You must trade the identity of the pursuer for that of the pursued. Stop asking, "How can I get more money?" and start asking, "How can I become the kind of person wealth naturally recognizes?" That is the real doorway to the shift. The ancient teacher didn't just recognize this principle, she forged a method for living it. She developed a spiritual practice that changes the personal frequency so thoroughly that money cannot ignore you. It turns its gaze toward you and moves with the unstoppable certainty of a river returning to its ocean. To begin, find a quiet place where you won't be disturbed for a short while. Anywhere that allows stillness and focus. Sit upright, relaxed but grounded, as if your spine were a bridge between earth and heaven. Close your eyes and breathe slowly 3 times. With every inhale, draw in the energy of prosperity. With every exhale, let go of every trace of fear or limitation. Now rest your hands upon your heart and listen to its steady rhythm, the same universal pulse that moves oceans, seasons, and wealth itself. As you feel this rhythm, shift your inner picture. Rather than reaching for money, envision it extending toward you. Imagine a web of luminous threads spreading in every direction, connecting you to opportunities, clients, and resources destined for you. You do not tug on these threads, they are already drawing inward, converging at your center. Sense the subtle pull of abundance leaning your way. Speak gently but firmly. I am what wealth searches for. Prosperity knows my name. I am the treasure that abundance discovers. Do not strain to believe. Simply allow these words to settle, the way truth settles when remembered. Feel them rooting in the soil of your heart. You are not forcing a new identity, you are remembering the one that has always been yours. Let each breath deepen this certainty until your whole being glows with a soft golden radiance visible across unseen worlds. This light is not born of craving, it shines from assurance, the aura of one who knows their worth and expects recognition. Now rest in the feeling of being desired rather than desiring. Replace the tension of pursuit with the ease of being found. Replace the fatigue of searching with the quiet joy of being sought. Stay with this sensation until it feels natural. Before opening your eyes, affirm calmly, "Money locates me with ease. Favor finds me. Wealth recognizes me daily." Speak it like sealing a promise. One woman, Linda from Portland, practiced this when she was buried under debt, behind on rent, exhausted from endless work. That night she whispered the words through tears, unsure if they could be true. The next morning she woke not hopeful but certain, as though a tide had shifted. Hours later she received an email from a company she'd applied to months earlier, inviting her to re-interview for a position she'd long forgotten. Within a week she was hired at a salary higher than expected, and she said the strange part was this: they seemed eager to win her. That is the moment you know the law has reversed. You are no longer chasing, you are being chosen. But this transformation has a gestation period. The new frequency must stabilize before it becomes permanent. There exists a sacred window of about 48 hours in which the universe reorganizes itself to reflect your new broadcast. For years you may have been sending out the signal of struggle and insufficiency, and your world mirrored it faithfully. Every bill, every delay, every missed chance was simply your old vibration reflected back. When you shift to the frequency of being pursued, it is as though you've tuned the dial to a new station. Between signals there is static, a brief transition when the old pattern dissolves and the new one begins to anchor. During these 2 days, your subconscious rewires, your body adjusts, and the field around you rearranges to accommodate the upgraded identity. Handle this interval with faith and steadiness, and the new broadcast locks in. Falter, and the old program reasserts itself. Neuroscience now confirms what mystics have always known: it takes roughly 2 days for new neural circuits to start stabilizing. Every thought and feeling within that span either reinforces abundance or revives lack. Checking your balance in fear strengthens the old station. Acting from quiet confidence feeds the new one. In this window, the unseen responds faster than usual. Paths that were invisible begin to appear. People who never noticed you start reaching out. Money once flowing elsewhere feels the tug of your magnetism. The energetic map of your life rewrites itself to match who you have become. If you sustain the higher frequency for 48 hours without collapsing into doubt, the shift becomes self-sustaining. The universe records your new coordinates and begins sending provision to the updated address. Do not measure progress by what you see during these hours. The outer world may seem unchanged, but below the surface the soil is alive with movement. This is the seed phase, roots spreading unseen, the new pattern preparing to bloom. Your task is simple: maintain the feeling. Walk, speak, and decide as one already pursued by abundance. Let confidence set the tone of your days. Expect good with quiet certainty. The old self will resist, it will argue, pointing to logic and numbers, insisting nothing has shifted. Recognize this resistance as evidence that the transformation is underway. The false identity always struggles hardest before it dissolves. Hold steady, breathe through the noise, and continue to act as the chosen one you now are. When you do, a remarkable thing occurs. The universe begins to treat you as your new self. Opportunities open, resources flow, and people recognize your value. The hunt has begun, and this time you are the prize. Let's move forward. During the vital 48-hour period in which your new identity begins to take root, your old self will attempt to pull you backward through 7 calculated snares. These aren't random setbacks. They are deliberate psychological patterns that every seeker of transformation faces. A wise metaphysical teacher once noted that these traps appear unfailingly for anyone attempting deep inner change. Recognizing them is already half the victory, because what you can foresee cannot ambush you, and what cannot ambush you cannot overthrow you. The first snare arrives within the opening hours disguised as reason. Your rational mind, trained only to believe what it can quantify or prove, will begin whispering persuasive objections. This is nonsense, it will insist. You're talking to yourself about being pursued by wealth, while real bills sit unpaid. Stop fantasizing and face reality. That voice will sound mature, grounded, even responsible. But it is merely limitation wearing the mask of logic, trying to reclaim control. When that voice surfaces, don't argue or justify. Simply breathe and affirm quietly, I am the treasure. I am being found. Let the words melt the resistance instead of fighting with it. The second trap often strikes around the 12th hour and shows up as comparison. Suddenly you'll notice others who appear richer, luckier, or more successful. Your neighbor's shiny new car will gleam a little brighter. Your friend's holiday photos will flood your screen. Your colleague might mention a bonus, and the inner whisper begins, "Look at them, look at you. You're falling behind. You're not the kind of person money pursues." That's scarcity disguised as envy. When you feel that sting, immediately turn it around. See their abundance as evidence that prosperity exists and is active. Tell yourself, their gain proves that wealth is plentiful. I celebrate their success as a preview of my own. The third trap unfolds near the 18th hour as impatience. You've kept your new vibration alive for nearly a day, and a part of you expects instant miracles. When your account balance remains still, when no opportunity seems to appear, the impatient voice grows loud. "Nothing's changing. You're wasting your time." That voice sounds logical, but it's the most dangerous snare of all. Transformation begins invisibly before it appears outwardly, and impatience can cancel the harvest moments before it sprouts. When restlessness arises, remind yourself, the seed is planted, the roots are forming, the right timing is assured. The fourth snare tends to show up around the 24th hour as crisis. Something breaks, an unexpected expense surfaces, or a work issue explodes, seeming to prove that nothing has improved. But this is not chance. It's your old pattern making one last push to convince you you're unchanged. Treat it as an exam. Will you react as your old self, overwhelmed by problems, or as your new self, magnetized by solutions? When turbulence strikes, pause and declare, "I am pursued by answers. I am found by solutions. Even this leads to my highest good." The fifth snare often arises at hour 30 and hides behind practicality. Those around you might start commenting on your shift, perhaps teasing that you're being unrealistic or warning you to stay grounded. Friends or family might remind you of past disappointments. These voices echo your own inner skepticism, trying to drag you back into limitation. Respond calmly, "I appreciate your concern, but I'm being guided by a higher intelligence." The sixth trap tends to appear near hour 30. 6 is fatigue. Maintaining a new energy can feel like work, and by now you may feel mentally tired. Tired of guarding thoughts, tired of pretending abundance is chasing you when you see no proof. That fatigue whispers, "Rest from this for a while." But that rest is surrender just before the finish line. Remember, the frequency isn't powered by force. It flows naturally through you. When weary, relax deeper into the awareness that you are worthy enough to be sought. The final trap rises during the closing 12 hours, and is the most deceptive of all. It arrives as doubt cloaked in realism, suggesting this is too good to be real, or that you're unworthy of such attention from abundance. That is the last gasp of lack consciousness pretending to be humility. When it whispers, answer with authority, "I am deserving of being pursued by prosperity. I am the treasure the universe delights in discovering." Every trap is secretly a doorway. Each time you choose the new identity, instead of the old reflex, you solidify the transformation. Every refusal to take the bait of scarcity proves that this vibration is not temporary, it's who you are now. Linda from Portland, whom I mentioned earlier, faced all 7 snares during her own 48-hour passage. She realized that when she treated them as validations instead of failures, they lost all grip. "Once I stopped fearing the traps," she said, "I saw them as confirmation that real change was underway." Now that you understand these patterns, you can move through them with calm assurance. But knowing the snares is only part of mastery. The other half is strengthening your new frequency so profoundly that these old patterns can't even approach you. To do that, we use amplifiers, methods that magnify your energy until wealth cannot resist your signal. Imagine them as turning up the dial on a radio broadcast. The station was always there, now it's so strong it reaches galaxies. With these, you won't just be noticed by abundance, you'll become unforgettable to it. The first amplifier is the mirror of worth. Each morning, face your reflection and truly look into your own eyes. Not a glance, but a steady gaze that meets your own soul. Many can't hold that stare for long because of buried shame or doubt. Yet, when you can look and see someone deserving of being sought by prosperity, your reality begins to reconfigure. Tell your reflection, "You are the treasure wealth seeks. You are priceless enough to be pursued." Watch your expression change as your subconscious accepts the message. The second amplifier is collective magnetism. If you live with loved ones, gather them and align your intentions. Each person places a hand over their heart and says, "This home is pursued by prosperity. This family is found by fortune." Shared focus multiplies attraction. I've witnessed entire households shift into abundance within one 48-hour window by doing this together. The third amplifier connects your new identity to your senses. Throughout the window, notice a scent, sound, or texture present while you feel deeply magnetic. Perhaps coffee brewing as you affirm your wealth, silk against your skin, or rainfall tapping on glass. This sensory anchor becomes a trigger. Later, encountering it instantly returns you to abundance consciousness. The fourth amplifier is grateful reception. Every 3 hours, record 3 specific things you're thankful for as though they've already manifested. Write them in past tense. I'm grateful for the 5,000 that found me today. I'm grateful for the client who chose me easily. Your mind treats vivid imagination like memory, turning these statements into proof that prosperity is active. The fifth amplifier is royal posture. Carry yourself like the treasure already discovered. Walk upright, speak deliberately, move with quiet authority. Your body signals your worth as clearly as your words. When you embody dignity, the world mirrors it. These amplifiers engage every level of being, mind, body, heart, and spirit, until you no longer recall what it felt like to chase instead of attract. Patricia from Denver practiced all 5 and saw remarkable results within 2 days: job offers, refunds, and an interview paying 60% more. More than the money, she said. I felt seen, valuable, like I'd remembered who I am. Combining these amplifiers with the core ritual forms an irresistible field that draws wealth from every direction. Still, even with all this, moments of doubt may visit. When they do, remember the subtle signals showing abundance is already tracking you. The first sign is lighter emotions. The old anxiety about money softens. Nothing external changed, but you feel freer. That's evidence your vibration has shifted. The second sign is kindness from others. Someone covers your coffee, offers help, or lets you go first in line. These gestures show that your new frequency invites generosity. The third sign comes as casual mentions of opportunities, snippets of conversation pointing you toward new paths. Don't dismiss them. The fourth is the universe flowing smoothly around you. Green lights, easy parking, fast connections. That's alignment. The fifth is dreaming of discovery, visions of finding treasure or being chosen. The sixth is new attention from others. People begin valuing your presence more. And the seventh is the quiet certainty, a deep, wordless knowing that your reality is about to bloom. Patricia described laughing through toothpaste because the knowing hit her mid-routine. Hours later, abundance arrived. These are previews, not the film itself. Proof that your shift has been registered and the pursuit is underway. A true mystic once called the last step the golden seal, the act that fixes your transformation permanently. Without sealing it, even great change can fade like a forgotten dream. To lock it in, return to the same peaceful space where you began. Sit tall, breathe deeply, and sense the calm strength within you now. The old anxiety is gone. You're no longer waiting for wealth. You're aware it's already found you. Close your eyes and breathe 3 deliberate times. Not preparing to transform, but celebrating completion. Say softly, I am caught. I am found. I am claimed by abundance. Repeat it once more aloud, then a final time as a decree no force can undo. Feel those words settle into your being. You're not chasing, you've been discovered. The pursuit has ended because you are the prize. Let the awareness sink in. You belong to prosperity as naturally as rivers belong to the sea. You don't earn it. You resonate with it. This is your new truth. I receive effortlessly. Wealth seeks me as surely as light follows dawn. The greatest teachers always said, real declarations describe the eternal now, not the future. You're not saying you will be rich. You're realizing you are wealth informed. Take one final breath and let this identity imprint into every cell. You can't reverse what's sealed or unknow what's known. When your eyes open, the world will look altered because you will be seeing accurately, recognizing opportunities where others see obstacles, feeling prosperity where others see lack. Over the next days, notice how people respond differently, how doors open smoothly, how money finds its way toward you. This isn't wishful thinking, it's alignment made visible. If this message stirs something within you, stay connected. Every future lesson deepens this truth. And if you wish to give back, do so as a gesture of abundance, proving that you already have enough. Remember, every gift offered from fullness multiplies. Return after 48 hours and share your story. What shifted? What blessings appeared? Your testimony will serve as evidence for others stepping into their own transformation. The chase is finished. You've been found. You've been claimed. You are forever sought by wealth, and so it is.